Stand by. One, two, hook.
How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Take a seat. Nice. We got folks already dressing up. Is that K-Rob? Who's that? Yes. Yes. Mad scientist. Evaluator. Awesome. Okay. I'm excited, right? The squadron's looking good. We got some stuff getting pulled up, skills challenge. I think we got some broads, some sauerkraut, and some beverages. I know I contribute a little bit. So I think we're gonna have a keg down there of a locally produced series of beer, I think. So I'm excited. It's gonna be good. Let's start with the next slide. We should have the technical stock. Come on up. All right, so you don't ever want to miss an opportunity to embarrass somebody, to bring them up there and just talk to their quality, because we have, that's what we are, right? We're a conglomeration of quality individuals that formulate a team that are the best airlift squadron on the planet. So Lieutenant Colonel Stock just came to us from Naples, Italy. He worked for Admiral Fogo there. This is the Joint Forces Command. So think of a joint headquarters for NATO, essentially. There's a couple of them. This one's in the south in Italy. So while he was there, he was chief of the CAG for Admiral Fogo, a 4-star, right? It's a huge deal, and essentially managed all 3 arms of the NATO forces, right? Air, land, and sea. And now space is going to be stood up here soon. I'm not quite sure what assets they're gonna grab, but we'll see. We'll watch the news for that. Here with his wife, Erin. As you can see, we've got Hollis and Weston. I think that's a picture from your flat in Naples, right?
Yeah, that's our,
It looks like
our little house, our COVID house. So
construction.
spent 60 days living in that compound.
Yeah, the Italians, like when you say like quarantine, they take it flipping seriously. Like you didn't leave your.
I did, because I had to go to work.
But the family was like locked down.
They stuck in the.
Yeah, think about that. Like you can't go to the grocery store. You can't. Like it was like only bare essentials, right?
Right.
Yeah, they're a little more indoctrinated than we are. We call that as Americans. Okay, previously, so just brings a wealth of experience coming in here. First off, he's going to be our DO, right? So our selected DO. He was boarded at the Phoenix Eagle program, was selected by general officers to be, and our wing commander to be the next director of operations, replacing Major Fernandez. That's going to take place 1 January. The reason I asked for that is so that he can get back in the jet, because it's been a few years. Get credible back in the airplane, because he left as an evaluator at Dover. How long ago was that? 3 years ago. Sorry, 3 years ago, because it was 2 years in Italy, and then 1 year at school. So just give him a chance to get back in the jet and then take the seat 1 January. So expect that change, shouldn't be a shock. And we'll have that official ceremony where we exchange the keys of the aircraft. Those of you remember that when I did that with Major Fernandez and I did that with Lieutenant Colonel Linton, 2.5 years ago, we're going to do that first on call in January. So look forward to that. It'll be fun. Over 4,000 hours, 4,300 hours. What is it? 1,780 of those combat flight time.
Yeah.
So when you see him in the service dress, when you see all those big clusters, right? Those air medals, you know why. KC-135 is originally Fairchild, then went to Seymour Johnson, upgraded to evaluator, then crossed over to the best aircraft in the Air Force inventory, right? C-5. Dover Air Force Base. We passed each other in the wind in April of 13 as I was going back to Pitt. He showed up. Worked his way to be the commander of the FTU. Yeah, there was an FTU at Dover Air Force Base. For those of you from been around the C5 for a while, or from there went to their commanding staff college in Italy. There's that one. So, like I said, went through the family squad, and you'll see him find a computer and getting hot back at the jet. So it's going to be good. Without further ado, you have anything to add?
No, thanks for everything. It's great to be here. My family and I are definitely is where we want to be, so we appreciate it. And thanks to all of you that have helped our family get settled. We had basically dropped the family off, and then I went to Kelly, so they got to deal with first COVID and the fires and all that fun. So thanks for all your donations for beds and toys. And yeah, I look forward to those I don't know meeting you, getting to know you, flying with you, executing the mission, and then having fun. Awesome.
Welcome, Brandon.
Appreciate it.
Classmates. Okay. Next slide. Ms. Hanson, come on up here. I saw you. We're not going to let you get away without celebrating 35 years of service. So you all know Michelle Hanscom, right? So she is one of the few faces, especially with COVID, that you see when you come into the squadron, right? Whether it's going to be computer access, whether it's going to be shared files, email. There's a list of 100 things that she does. Security clearances, line badges, like I go on and on and on and on and on. And a lot of these things just take place behind the scenes, right? And it's very much a thankless job. A lot of the civilians that are in an active duty squadron, it's a thankless job a lot of the time. So when we have the opportunity to thank them, we're going to do it, right? So 35 years of service. Thank you for just being a member of our team and being part of the Double Deuce and living our culture day in and day out. I'm just 100% appreciative of you, all everything you've done. I know the team is as well here because we wouldn't be here. We couldn't go do our job without you. So on behalf of the Double Deuce, Commanders Point for Excellence, thank you so much. Okay. I think we're ready to do the normal stuff now. Yep. All right. I'm going to take a seat.
All right, good morning, Double Deuce. On the calendar for Burn at 1100, come out support Booster Club with that. Muley Day starts at 1200. Make sure you got a club to go to. Check in the Slack messages for what all clubs are available. And then tonight we've got the Fall Festival starting at 1700 to 2000 with the PSC being Captain Howell. And then upcoming events, Family Days, we've got Thanksgiving, November 26th. And we're still kind of standing by on the Thanksgiving potluck to get more guidance on that. So we'll keep you guys in the loop as we get closer. Here's our flyer for the Fall Festival. I'm going to turn it over to Captain Howell real quick. He's going to do a quick plug for Fall Festival. And
All right. Good morning. Fall Festival, like you said, 5 to 8 o'clock tonight. A few things. Thank you for everybody that worked on decorating the squadron. That is greatly appreciated. It looks great. I was super nervous about that, and that got accomplished. So thank you very much. Number two, though, one thing that I asked for COVID, candy's not allowed to be in bowls for the kids to grab out of the bowl. It has to be in baggies. So across the flights, I've passed out the candy with little baggies. If you need more baggies, let me know. But if y'all don't mind taking 30 minutes this morning to put the candy in the baggies for the kids to just grab the baggie, because that doesn't sweat drinks. Next thing, there are still volunteer slots for tonight. I'm trying to keep it so everybody can enjoy the event, so I kept the slots down to 30 minutes. So if you want to volunteer, come find myself or Lieutenant Weaver to get signed up for that, and I can get you on the Google Doc. Next thing is COVID. Obviously, COVID's still going on. This is our first large event with the squadron. So there are a couple guidelines that I'm hoping we can follow. One, when you're in the squadron, make sure you and your family are wearing masks. That trick-or-treat event is going to be like kind of a walkthrough. So I want you to enjoy the decorations, have the kids, look at the decorations, but try to keep moving through the squadron and the path. And there'll be people guiding you all through that so you don't get lost. And also we're partnering with the 60 AMX. So the trick-or-treat is going to start downstairs, work its way upstairs, and then back downstairs to go outside for the food. Next thing, for the mask as well. So mask inside, mask outside if you can't keep 6 feet of separation when you're eating. Obviously, you don't have to have a mask on. But if you find yourself gathering in groups, make sure you and your family have masks. Next is hand sanitizer. There's going to be hand sanitizer when you walk in the building, and then there'll be hand sanitizer at every single game. I ask that you use it before and after the game, and then hand sanitizer at the food as well. There'll also be Lysol wipes out at the food. So if you see your table like not wiped down, there should be a volunteer making sure that the tables are looking clean. But if you see like, oh, I want to sit down and eat and it looks kind of dirty, if you don't mind like letting me know, or just grabbing a wipe and wiping it down real quick before your family sits down.
All right, since you have all the admin boring code stuff, so we'll tell you all the good stuff. So there's gonna be Oktoberfest theme for the food and everything. So like Colonel Trumbo kind of alluded to it already. So we're gonna have brats, sausages, hot dogs, potato salad, sauerkraut, pretzels, fresh baked and everything. So a lot full smorgasbord. We're gonna have all the drinks and beverages you want out there. Lots of beer, Oktoberfest beer from Germany. A bunch of different German beers will be out there. So it's all gonna be free. So please come out and enjoy some of the food, pumpkin pies, and all that good stuff. For the kiddos, there's gonna be raffle prizes. So bring your kids, have them wear their favorite costume or whatever, so they can do the trick or treating as well. They'll have a chance to get some prizes too with the raffles. For the adults, Kind of K-Rob's already got a head start on it, so please wear your best costume that you can. There may or may not be prizes for you. You'll see a jar of candy corn out there too. So if you just guess how many candy corns are in that jar, you get $50 gift card. So that's cool as well. Some of the games, we have like a carnival game theme set out there. So there's gonna be your classic tailgate games as well as some like throwing games. We've all seen the little crazy ugly clowns that you hit with the baseball, so that'll be out there too. There's gonna be a photo booth set out there for any family pictures that you want out there. It's kind of set out there right now, so you can see it once you leave here. Rock climbing wall. So a whole bunch of stuff. So please come out. Like bring your family, bring your friends. We have a lot of fun today.
Any questions or? Sweet.
No, I was just gonna say, this is set to be like one of the best, like fall festivals, we're gonna call Oktoberfest celebrations that I've ever seen, right? This team has done a great job. I gave them some basic commander's intent when I sat down and just had my vision. And I really just kind of opened it up. I was like, what does the team want? What do we want to do? How can we leverage using Unite funds? We're getting some money from the wing that was actually tough to get, believe it or not, because of COVID. We're one of the few squadrons that are doing this, okay? So first, I want to say thank you to this team. So. Thanks everybody that decorated, right? The squadron is looking stellar. Okay, so I appreciate all of that. I appreciate you guys volunteering. This is a team effort, right? I want you to show up and I also want you to help out. With many hands comes light work, right? So if everybody pitches in just a little bit, it's gonna be easy. With the mask thing, just cooperate to graduate kind of thing, right? So if you've got a drink in your hand, right, it can be like this. But when the FEO, right, so when the public health officer Murray walks by, right, he's like, all right, no, I mean, they're trying, you know what I mean? But if like you got nothing and there's no, no drink in your hand or no like pretzel in your hand, then it's like, there's almost like no excuse. And he's like, you know what I mean? So we're trying to keep a Thanksgiving potluck theme going if we can here soon. We're trying to get the holiday ball without anyone peeking into our program. So this is one where they're going to look at us because we're like one of the few squadrons that's doing it. So please, at least just have it, you know what I mean? Like really available. So, play the game. That's all I'm asking you guys to do. Okay? All right. That's all I got. Thanks.
All right, moving on, we got Booster Club plug right here for some swag for the squadron. So if you're looking for present ideas for your family for upcoming holidays, they've got bag tags, squadron mugs. You've got cool patch ideas. You can send those on over. We've got travel mugs, all the goodies.
We're getting hoodies coming.
Hoodies are on.
Hoodies are coming.
On their way, and trucker hats.
Trucker hats.
Yeah, get the trucker hats. Deadline. For placing your orders, it's going to be 31 October. So make sure you get those. All right, Hacking the Mish. We got 4 crews out on the road. Ryman's crew, Blessingers, Ralph Hales, and Sapel. Ryman's like kind of moving around, not really. They're having a nice East Coast vacation right now. All right, pass it over to Major Smith.
Hey, good morning. A couple of notes from Santa Val. So first thing, I sent an email or a Slack message out about EPUBs. If you've noticed, there's no Wi-Fi in the squadron right now. There was a security incident yesterday with AMC, so they've shut down the Wi-Fi across the enterprise. Our hardware has been upgraded and fixed, and we're all ready to go. We just need internet to come back on. So as soon as that happens, I will send out a Slack message so everyone know they can sync their iPads. To be clear, if your iPad has a PUBs date of 2020-09-01, so if you've updated September 1st or later, you don't need to worry about updating your iPad. Nothing has changed on there that is critical for flying operations. So a few odds and ends of pubs have changed, but nothing required for flight. So I know you're like, oh, I can't update my iPad. It's okay, as long as it's 20-09-01. If you have an older version, it's your iPad, we can plug it into the computer with a Lightning cable, throw standalone, and we can update it kind of the hard way. Second item, special interest items. I don't know if we saw GTMs yesterday, but the 4th quarter special interest items came out. So I just want to take 2 minutes to go over them, explain what we're doing with special interest items, and answer any questions you have. So every quarter, Santa Val gets with training, and we look at all the evaluations that happen in the quarter, all the training trends, and we come up with issues that we see that are indicators for future problems. or things that are currently happening, and we try to address them. And we adding focuses on the back to basics overall plan. These kind of nest nicely in there with that. So the OG has focused on 2 things: general knowledge and checklist discipline and adherence to standards. I don't think I need to explain what general knowledge is. Anyone unclear about what general knowledge is? No, sweet. So I just remind you that there's tons of study opportunities with W's Cloud to look at CTs. There's the MQF app on your iPad that will go through the MQF so you can self-study the MQF. Obviously, you have your -1, your 202s, your -1-1, your -9s, like all your checklists. Get into those and keep up with all of those basic knowledge things. For checklist discipline and adherence to standards, you guys will all have this, and so I'm not going to read it verbatim to you. Essentially, what we're getting at is that there's expanded items in the expanded checklist that are not being complied with. So people are like, oh yeah, I know the checklist response, I said it verbatim, what's wrong with it? Okay, take it one step further, right? You actually have to do that action. And so please, this weekend, next weekend, at your soonest available opportunity, take an hour and read section 2. For every checklist that you respond, or every checklist that you run, look through the expanded part of section 2 and see what steps maybe you forgot that you weren't doing. For the pilots, when you're looking at your flight instruments, I'm wondering who's looking at their ground speed indicators, because it says in section 2, if your ground speed indicators are off from one side to the other, that's indicative of a problem. But like, that's probably not something that every pilot looks at. So there's an opportunity for us to go back into section 2 and refresh ourselves. So please do that. And then please complete the checklist like that. Checklists are designed to keep us safe. For C5 specific things, and this is kind of, it's a lot. We don't typically have this many special interest items. So this is indicative, I think, of a little bit of an experience, maybe a little bit of lack of general knowledge or flight discipline based on just our COVID ops, not being in the hallways together, talking about incidents that have happened. And so some things have come up across our check rides, and we just want to address them. So kneeling, unkneeling procedures. This is specifically for the FEs and the loads. Pilots, congratulations, you don't need the airplane. You get your own problems. Specifically, proper positioning of the kneeling pad, understanding expansive verbiage, expanded verbiage in the checklists to check the counters, and proper responses, and then proper column installation. So when you go to kneel the airplane, if you put the column on, the column's not seated, the kneel is not done correctly, right? Looking at the engineers and the load masters, they all seem to be nodding their heads. Perfect. Pilots are like, what collars? So please remind yourself of the procedures. And then when you go to kneel the airplane, if it's not happening the way it's supposed to happen, unkneel the airplane, get with the FCC, come up with a solution, or turn it back over to maintenance. We don't need to be breaking airplanes because we're not doing procedures correctly, or continuing on loading operations if the procedure we just ran didn't accomplish what it was supposed to accomplish. Tactical procedures and threat calls. This goes for everyone. 3-3, you guys all should be familiar with that. How many people have read the 3-1? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hands. They're a pretty full room of people. So 3-1 is the classified version. Get into the Intel Vault, take a look at that. Understanding how to keep this airplane safe is our goal. So if you don't know the threat responses that we're supposed to be doing, or the threat callouts from VTRAT, or what those threat callouts are going to equate to how we fly the airplane, that's not following that intent of keeping the airplane safe. So our tactical procedures are designed to keep us safe, and you make sure we're employing them correctly. And then last one here is total departure planning. This is specifically just for the pilots and the FEs. The most important takeaway here is that STPs have come back out, and there'll be a training program coming out for everyone to receive STP training. That's going to be combined with a new departure planning checklist that's coming out. A3V has sent us the draft. It's in revision right now, and then that'll come out. And that's going to include a little bit of a different way we attack departure planning. So when that drops, hopefully our training plan is already knocked out the training for everybody. So for FEs and pilots, stand by, but there'll be departure planning to comply with the new 202 restrictions. Anybody have any questions on our special interest items? My last ask is that we take it beyond the step of just reading the FCIF and then the AC just rattling off the 5 special interest items. I think in brief, and that's the end of it. When you go through your local training, please incorporate these in your desired learning objectives. Get after these specific topics and get better at these specific items while not pushing the other things that we do, you know, that 10,000 other tasks aside. these are the items right now that we're noticing are trends that we want to correct. And I mean, I can't tell you anything more than flight discipline and adherence to standards. Like that's the bare basics that keep us safe and keep the aircrew world we are safe because of the way we do business. And if we don't do business correctly, we're gonna hurt somebody. So please get down to the very basics of adhering to the standards, following your checklists, take time, think through what we do, and let's get everybody back in this room this time next year. Thanks.
Next, I'm gonna pass the floor over to Kurt.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. We're going to do a couple hails because the heritage levels cancel. Previous AFSC, so airman as a flight engineer, right? So he's a pipeline coming. His favorite teams are the Kansas City Chiefs, the Anaheim Ducks. For the older folks in the room, they probably remember the Mighty Ducks. His hobbies include gaming, movie reviewing, and then one unique fact about him, he worked for
Maybe it's fall festival time.
Okay. All right, you ready to catch this? Now let's work on topics. Welcome to the squadron. The floor is yours to speak.
Super excited to be here. I know being one of the first A1Cs, me and Airman Murish, we're super excited, a little nervous, but we're ready to show you guys that A1Cs are hopefully a new thing to help the squadron in the long run.
Next up is Senior Airman Polichki. Did I say that right? Yeah. So Polichki, but the original pronunciation, the Polish way, is Polichki, right? Pavlichki, sorry. So his nickname is Aaron. He's originally from Delta, Ohio. His wife is Brooke. He has a 3-year-old son, Quentin, and he has a cat, Miko. Previous AFSC location, so he's prior service, former Army Army Guard, National Guard, right? Infantry.
Yep.
So a little bit of a change there, right? Going from infantry to air crew to Air Force. So his favorite sports team, unfortunately, is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Go Blue. So he does have some redeeming qualities. He's a Red Wings fan and a Tigers fan. So hobbies include football, hiking, fishing. He's a weapons enthusiast. He's into cooking and hunting. One unique fact about him, he deployed to Jordan with the Army and he floated at the Dead Sea. All right, welcome to the Double Deuce. The floor is yours.
Excited to be here. Excited to show you guys that infantrymen can do this job. We're not all done grunts. I'm excited to pick your guys' brains about things and learn the job, and just excited to fly. No more boots on ground. So, all right. Thank you, guys.
Cool.
And then just one announcement for the engineers. After this, we're going to do CT. We're going to cover the special interest items of the departure plan. So.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right. Good morning, Double Deuce. Morning. Business first. All right. So some trends with some of the shirts you're seeing across base. If any of you guys. If pensions are re-enlistments right now, please get that paperwork started sooner than later. A lot of the shirts are seeing issues with people on no PDS and DFAS not talking as quick as it usually does. And people are running into pay issues. So if you have any issues with that or have any questions on that, Ace Right, AFRC, Spooky Road Halloween event next week, next Friday. It's taken over for the annual trunk or treat that they usually put on. It's a huge event for the AFRC, and obviously with COVID, they can't do it. So take the kiddos out there. It's going to be a drive-through through the AFRC parking lot. They're going to be giving out bags of candy, stuff like that for the kids. So, and they do need volunteers still. So any of you guys out there, maybe some guys coming up on BTC soon or whatnot, I put the flyer up on Slack. Just reach out to those POCs. They still need quite a few volunteers. And slide. All right, shirt business, right? Uniform changes. Yeah, help me help you. So this is not only happening in this unit, but it is happening across base. A lot of the shirts are seeing it, right? So 1 September, we're about 2 months removed from that almost. A lot of things changed in 362903 to do with OCPs and with flight suits also. So big thing is Coyote Brown shirts, right? Obviously, this is your morale day. You're allowed to wear your black tees. I get that. But at any other time, whether you're in your OCP flight suits, regular OCPs or whatnot, Coyote Brown shirts are mandatory wear. In flight suits also now. So if you're still wearing the Desert Sand tees, it's time to go get the Coyote Brown. The T499 is the actual color code. If you just get them at Military Clothing, that's all they have there. But if you go on Amazon, if you look up Coyote Brown shirts, T499 will be the color code that actually abides by the AFI. Boots, Coyote Brown boots and OCPs are mandatory now, as it once. Flight suits, you guys are able to wear the stage or the Coyote Brown until April 1st next year. But when that comes out, I'll give out a reminder and everything. So, flags too, another allowed now. I know a lot of people back in the day when OCPs. Just a quick plug on the uniforms. If you guys got any questions, let me know. And excited to get out there tonight for our event. Bringing the kiddos, we're all dressing up and everything. So we'll see you out there tonight.
Sure.
If you guys don't have the right patches, if you're missing any patches, just go see one of the supplier representatives. We've got plenty of patches back there.
Soft plug.
All right, Chief.
Oh, it's my turn. All right. Good morning. Chief.
So first of all, big thanks to all the enlisted that showed up yesterday for the enlisted all call. Room out. Hopefully we had a lot of people on Zoom. Guidance for the way ahead. Once again, reach out to your leaders, and if you have any questions, help you along your way. So I don't, you guys take care. All right, so it's our DeAngelis, and I'll do a quote and I'll talk about it in a second. Hopefully you guys have seen this one already. All right, so a true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He is not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. Okay, so there's two parts of this, right? So the first part, talking about true leaders, the confidence to stand alone. So I just want to make it evident, you don't have to have birds and leaves on your shoulders or a bunch of stripes on your arm to be a leader. So from A1C all the way up, if you're not in charge of anybody, you be a leader yourself. Like I'm leading myself through this training. I'm helping others along the way, because the best part of another part of being a leader is also being a great follower, right? And all the way up the chain. As a senior airman, there's people underneath you, lead them, bring them with you, show them the way, all the way up, all the way up, sorry, all the way up. And then the second part, qualities, actions, and integrity of intent. He's not set out to be a leader. So as you'll see through the professionals in the Air Force, JSOC, or higher ranking leaders, they don't want to say like, hey, I am the leader. They don't have to say that. You know that by their actions and the way they carry themselves. So I ask that of you. Just do everything you can to bring others up with you. Show those core values that we stress. And then the others will follow you as a leader because you're showing those properties of a leader. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Looking forward to tonight. I don't have kids to bring with me, unfortunately, but I'm happy to be here. It's gonna be awesome. I love brats, sauerkraut, and beer, and it's gonna be a good time. So looking forward to that tonight. That's all I have.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, Double Deuce, good morning. It's nice that it's actually starting to get cool outside now. I'm sweating my butts off. Thanks for helping us welcome Colonel Stock. I expect us to start doing some turnover as he starts coming back from missions. His phone, it's getting hot. Yeah. Turn it over. But I've been a super proud DO, working through all the challenges we've been working through, and expect me to sprint through the finish line here as I hand the keys over and then the phone over to Colonel Stock. Major Smith, thanks for highlighting all the DOV special interest items that are coming up in the fourth quarter. So who was at the first CT that Major Hunt put on, and as well as the second CT that Captain Potts put on? Raise your hand. Okay, so I've got about maybe a quarter of the room, maybe a third of the room. So a lot of you weren't there to hear, the first couple of incidents that have happened. So today you're gonna watch a video, a 10-minute video put out by squadron leadership, because we had a third incident happen. And these have kind of stepped up in terms of the seriousness of the incidents, right? And we're looking to put a stop to that with the back to basics, right? For the next 3 to 6 months. And we want to make sure y'all get back in the books. And like Major Smith alluded to, get into the expanded knowledge and really look after each other. Look to your left and the right and back each other up every step of the way while you're out there. Another thing we're seeing pop up, right, is resiliency issues. So again, look out for your brothers and sisters. We're a family. We're having a lot of issues with folks asking a commercial home because there's something happening either with their family at home or with themselves, right? So please do your best to communicate any issues you're having with the schedulers, right? Because if we can sub somebody in for you, right, before you guys leave home station, then we're gonna do our best to do that. So if things are happening, right, up channel those things to your squadron leadership so that we can make sure that the crews are good to go on the road. Another thing I'll bring up here are maintenance issues. Some of the tails we have on the road right now are absolute train wrecks, right? So Major Loftus was actually the AC of Major Reineman's jet. I believe that you guys departed on October 6th. They still haven't departed the CONUS, okay? So they tried to depart out of Bangor, diverted back to Dover, tried to depart yesterday, and they've been out on the system for 18 days and haven't departed the continental United States. So this coupled, right, with the flight and ground discipline issues we're having, could be very, very bad, right? So let's please get back to the basics and be safe out there. I'll get to my thanks here. I love thanking the team just because they do some amazing, solid work. To the tactics team, they've simply just revolutionized the way we do OSTs. So Major Archer, Captain Podolsky, Captain Gray, Captain Potts now in there, Dawson, Ali, and now they've got Sergeant Bomey, Sergeant Paget's on his way to transition. So that whole team has just absolutely crushed the way we do OSTs. And it's going to set the standard for Dover to execute the same thing starting in January. So again, setting the bar high, kind of what we do here on the Double Deuce. Standoval, thanks for really working through all these issues we've been having, right? And helping us get back to basics. And thanks for working through all the pubs mess that AMC has levied on us. And all the manning issues. They've had a lot of manning issues with evaluator manning. So they're working through a lot of challenges, right? So thanks to the Standard team for that. The training shop, you guys, are working through all these students. We've still got upwards of 30 unqualified load masters here in the squadron. The flight engineer backlog is also growing. Unfortunately, sir, I'm going to be handing this problem set over to you here shortly. But we've thrown everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, we've probably thrown the kitchen sink at it too. We've been throwing every resource we have at these challenges that we've had. So please help us. I want to specifically call it Major Hail for really trying my best to sync it with Ops Week, which is supposed to be this week. But Heavy Hitter will be announced next week. So for those of you who don't know what that is, right? Colonel Trumbull started this program, the Heavy Hitter program. Basically, it's somebody that's crushing it out of the jet first and foremost, right? Crushing the mission, but also doing an amazing job in garrison as well and leading up. Last couple things here. I'd be remiss as the DO not to talk about currencies as we approach November here quickly and the holidays. Please, when you get back to your workstations today, just check your ITS. Help us all out. Check your ITS, because what's going to happen here at the end of the month is a lot of you guys are going to come due for currencies, and then we can't put you on missions, right? There's a sweet deal that's starting to come up now. It's going to be monthly. It is basically dropping off a C5 tail somewhere in the Pacific for 10 days, right? For maintenance to train on, so that we don't have these issues in the en route system. Guess where those missions are going to go to, right? They're going to go to the folks who are the heavy hitters primarily, and we'll be looking at that closely to make sure that there's an even share for that good deal. Last thing I know the boss is going to allude to this is the video. So there's a squadron read file, right, that addresses flight and ground discipline and adherence to standards. I need you guys to watch that video from start to finish and take it seriously. Talk about it. Talk about it. We're here full time, right? Monday and Friday. Talk about it. It's healthy, right? We're not spreading rumors, right? But it's healthy to talk about getting back to the basics and why that's important. So that's all I've got, guys. Have a great weekend and enjoy tonight.
All right, I'll start right off and try and dovetail as best I can with the DO's salient comments. So you can look this word up. We're in a liminal state right now, in my belief, in the 22nd, I think, the C5 community overall. What that means, we're in a period of transition, okay? So we're in a liminal state with COVID, right? So the impacts that are starting to cascade at home with our families on us, right? Having to walk around and wear this kind of stuff, be on the road. Being on the road is not exactly what it used to be, right? When you're having to get all your food ordered to your room in Kadena, and not be able to go downtown. Like some of the payback, that good stuff we experienced being part of aircrew just isn't there anymore. We're in a liminal state with these incidents, these indicators that I'm seeing, on the ground, in the air, where I'm like, what's going on, right? So I have no doubt that COVID and all these little cascading effects of what's been going on in 2020 are kind of adding up. But the bottom line is that we've got to be safe here. We can't execute effectively without being safe. So there's elements of that. One that Major Fernandez and Major Smith already alluded to was general knowledge, right, guys? General knowledge isn't gouge. You've heard that term before, gouge, right? Gouge is like the stuff generated with your buddies, like GK check. Like, this is the quick way if I want to go through the hydraulic system, the quick way I want to go through expanded section 2 that I can go through because it's nice and quick and I'm not in the -1 having to work with the good reader, okay? But the problem is that gouge is not the foundation. General knowledge, right? The -1, the -9, all that, the 3-3, the 3-1, if going back and vault, is your baseline general knowledge, the foundation, and then gouge is your check on that because it's a quick look, okay? But gouge is only good as the person that produced it, okay? So there's a term, live and die by the gouge. So I just want to throw it out there as an old FAPE and PIT instructor that just be very, very careful with what your buddies are passing around. If you think that is general knowledge, it's not. It's got to have a good foundation with all of our regulations that are published officially. Okay, the video, super intentional on this video. We're trying to get a different spin on this, going back to the basics. And this is like a check in your heart, check in your gut, right? Personally, to say, am I good to go? Out on the road, am I good to go when I'm asked to go fly a local? And if you're not, you need to get the program quick, guys, okay? Part of being a professional, right, is being able to look in the mirror and say, I'm ready to execute my profession, right? Whether that's a student going through upgrade, whether that's a qualified individual, whether you're a pilot, loadmaster, or engineer, or back in SARM, you have to do it well, right, guys? That's what we do. Good isn't good enough in the double deuce when excellence is the standard. And that's our standard, guys, is excellence, okay? All right, so you'll see the video soon, and take it to heart, please. Fall Festival, we'll keep streaming up here. The Fall Festival, again, wear the masks, guys, okay? For us to be able to have fun, we gotta cooperate a little bit together so we can do more and more fun stuff, okay? Like I said before, the cleanup, helping out. If you see trash flying around, like, just grab it, guys. Work as a team, because there's only so many of these folks here, right, that are part of the Fall Fest team that did all this. They've been working for weeks, okay, so help out. Again, thanks to them for doing that, and that's another form of leadership, right, that the shirt was talking about. This is a team sport, and when I give these opportunities to folks and they take off and run with it, that's a big indicator to me, okay, that they're doing good stuff, and they're going to be rewarded, right, guys, with hard work, with the heavy hitter awards. Things just kind of compound. You get those good deal missions, you get those good deal OSTs that come down the line. That's how this works, right? It's a meritocracy in this team. I want to know who the heavy hitters are on my team, and I know you all are. You just got to have the opportunity. ATA registration. So I don't send out a lot of emails, guys. I try to make it a low density, high impact email system. So when I send an email out, read it and follow the please. When you see please, that's an order, okay? I'm just trying to be nice. So when I say please watch this video from the wing commander, or please go register with ATA, it takes 2 minutes, okay? Even if you know you're gonna be on a mission, ATA, Airlift Tanker Association, for those that are new in the room, used to be, right, when COVID wasn't a thing, an opportunity for us all to get together at Nashville, at Memphis, which was around CONUS, where there was, no joke, thousands of people that fly tankers and airlifters that would get together and talk about what we do. It was more or less a big party and an expo. Lots of swag that was given out by Boeing and Lockheed. People come back with models, and it was just a really, really good time. But now it's all virtual, but there's still good things that are being talked about. So I sent a link out. It's free. Go in there, register for ATA, and it's gonna be streamed live. The execs are gonna set it up on the 27th to 29th, which is next week, in here. So that way, if you wanna come in throughout that day and sit down and watch that 30-minute, brief from the 4-star on what's gonna happen next with the C5, whenever they wanna do a new command and control node on load in the back of the aircraft, yeah, like that's been talked about, then come on in and listen to it, okay? 27th to 29th of next week. DEOX. We've had a lot of participation. I think we're close to 30%. Which is huge, right? So, Defense Equal Opportunity survey is out right now. Today's the last day. It's going to close at 4 p.m. So if you haven't had an opportunity to get in there and do the survey, again, it's 100% anonymous. Go in there, give the leadership team some feedback on how we're doing, okay? The link was sent out by multiple individuals. If you go into your search bar and type in DEOX, DEOCS, it will come up, okay? Take the 15 minutes to do the survey. So that'll be it. And then we'll get the feedback here in a couple months. I already talked about the video. Muley Day, right, guys? So I'm finishing up here. We're shy of an hour. We're going to roll right into CT. When CT ends, I want you to get on a computer. Okay, if you haven't done ATA, if you haven't done DEOX, do that. Get those knocked out, because Muley Day is going to start right after the burger burn. Okay, Muley Day, right? For those who don't know, Muley Day is our opportunity to get together and do cool stuff. I'm paying you, Uncle Sam paying you to go have fun. Okay, if you're not going to go with a small Muley Day club, right? Whether it's bike club, chess club, cooking club, whether it's weightlifting club, right? Some folks are going to Vacaville CrossFit to go do that. Like, this is all really, really good stuff. This is an awesome day. It's a jam-packed day, because guess what? I'm only asking you to come in on Mondays and Fridays, but please engage the entire day. Okay, make it worthwhile. Roll into the weekend. Be safe. Call me, the shirt, the chief, the DO. One of your RMs if you need assistance, if a plan falls through this weekend. I want you guys to have fun. And if I don't see you, you guys carry on. Okay, have a great weekend.
Carry on, guys. Thanks.
Intel brief in 15 minutes in here.
She's in, right?
I don't know.